Meanwhile, we just mentioned the fact that the fine people, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, they passed a completely meaningless resolution calling the NRA a domestic terrorist organization. So what has happened now is potentially an equally meaningless lawsuit has been filed by the NRA against the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. What does all that mean? Does it mean anything at all? We thought we'd talk to one of our legal eagles. He is Austin Pennington, who is a trial attorney. He handles a wide range of both criminal and civil cases. Hi, Austin. How are you?
Simon, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you. So if the NRA came into your office and said, hey, we want to sue the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, what would you say to them?
Well, I think they do have a very good First Amendment claim, because really the underlying problem with this resolution is the encouragement of some of the government contracts to stop dealing and contracting with some of the independent contractors who may actually support the NRA.
So the individual supervisors, if this case were to be won by the NRA, would they be personally responsible?
No, they wouldn't. What would happen here is that the NRA would assert that this resolution is restricting people's First Amendment rights to associate and for their freedom of speech. And so because it's a governmental arm, we've got an extension of a municipality here. They are subject to the First Amendment, and they can't restrict their government employees or these independent contractors who are contracting with the government from freely associating with the NRA. The difference here would be, you're allowed to, on a private company's website or message board, to restrict some of the speech that goes on there. But the difference is we've got a governmental arm that's restricting speech and association for private citizens who are contracting with the government.
All right, it's a shame, really. Maybe they'd have thought.
It is.
Maybe they'd have thought twice.
The problem is, and we've seen this before. It happened actually recently in New York with the NRA, and the governor there was encouraging certain banks and insurance carriers to restrict their association with the NRA. Federal lawsuit filed in New York, and judge said, look, regardless of what you think about the NRA, you're a governmental arm. You can't do this. You can't encourage people to not associate with the NRA because you're restricting their speech and their ability to freely contract. And this has happened before in other states like Kansas. And typically the courts are quick to side with the First Amendment and side with organizations like the NRA or others who are speaking out and knock these things down pretty quickly.
Okay, so first of all, it's meaningless, right? The Board of Supervisors resolution is largely meaningless.
It really is. This is more of, let's add fuel to the political fire on these issues with the NRA, and especially when you're looking at a city of San Francisco, which is so far at the other end of the spectrum on their political views with an organization like the NRA. So I agree with you. It's meaningless, and it's a lot of posturing, and again, just giving the political pundits more things to talk about on TV or on their stumps or whatever it is you want to call it.
So they got the meaningless resolution and now being sued. Why is it I can't help but feel they wanted to be sued?
Well, I think when you pour gasoline on a fire, you're usually asking for it to grow. So to me, you're taking a group like the NRA, which has historically been extremely outspoken and quick to take action, and you are, you're using the word terrorist. It's one of the most inflaming terms you can use, especially in America today. And so, yes, I think every sign of this points to the fact that they wanted to be sued to shed some type of spotlight on some issue. It may remain to be seen what that is, but that seems to be the case.
All right. We're talking to Austin Pennington. He's one of the lawyers we get to talk to from time to time. He is a trial attorney. He handles a wide range of both criminal and civil cases. And so let's talk about some civil cases, shall we? Or at least one in particular. It would seem that Sarah and Todd Palin are getting divorced. He filed in Alaska yesterday. They've been married for 31 years. That's a long time. But there appears to be a trend of this happening. 25% of divorces appear to be taking place amongst people who've been married for more than 25 years.
Yes, that does appear to be the case. And Simon, in our office specifically, we handle a large share of family law disputes, and we're seeing that trend grow more and more as just couples are getting divorced at an older age, and a lot of times it's happening after the kids are out of the nest, so to speak.
It's interesting because in Alaska, it appears, maybe this is all over the country, I don't know, but it appears that there's lots of initials used, and so the full names are not on the documents. Instead, it says TMP against SLP. His middle name is Mitchell. Hers is Louise. There's initials for a kid, TPVP, born April 18th, 2008, the same day that their youngest child, who happens to have those same initials, was born. So there's some effort to keep some anonymity, but not very great effort here. Well, it wasn't hard to figure this out.
That's very true. And in a lot of states, including here in Texas, we use initials on a lot of divorce filings, primarily to protect the identity of the children.
Right.
There's also some efforts in the court filings. A lot of times we have efforts that you can seal some of these filings so that they're not made as public. But a little investigative reporting, it's pretty easy to figure out and put two and two together.
Right. So they wanted privacy, and they're not going to get it. It's very easy for these things to descend into chaos with the only people actually winning are you people, lawyers.
Well, I've heard that quite a bit, but there are some other steps that can be taken to try and create some more secrecy or privacy for the couple and for the family. It's things such as mediation and sealing the court records, and then at the same time, there's a lot of states that allow agreements that we call here in Texas agreements incident to divorce, which means that the assets and the debts that are split up between the couple end up becoming confidential and not part of the court record. So I'm sure we'll see plenty of that with this divorce, as we see in a lot of other high-profile couples that get divorced.
So this is a special needs child. Will there be special arrangements made for him?
There oftentimes are. Typically, we as the lawyers hope that the parents have the best interest of their child in mind, because honestly, they're in a better position to judge what their child needs versus us or the court system. And so I am sure that the proper precautions and steps will be taken by the couple to make sure that their child is taken care of.
All right. Austin Pennington is one of the legal people we go to when we have stuff we want to talk about. And we're very grateful to you, Austin. Give us a website that people can connect to.
Absolutely. pfdallas.com. And you can find us on Instagram at The Dallas Lawyer or on Twitter at Dallas Law.
There you go. Thank you very much, Austin. Appreciate it. We will have you back, sir.
Thanks. Looking forward to talking to you guys again, Simon.
You too. Take care.